Hello, it's Valentine's Day, and I am eating my feelings of love for myself. And you know what? They taste delicious. Hello, this is Pat Coakley and episode 131 of PODSNACKS, and I received a birthday card with that a sentiment. I'm eating my feelings and they taste delicious this past week. And I thought how absolutely hilarious the card was. And also the truth of it. And it's one of those things where it's true and it is 100% true until it is 100% not true, in the sense that if you continue to eat your feelings, it doesn't lead anywhere you want to go. So this week's episode, I'm going to talk about some thoughts I've had about this very issue because of not having sugar for 3 weeks and not having any bread or grain, even whole wheat grain, for 2 weeks. It really does give you a window into your habits of what you use food for. So let's get into it. P.S. Hello, I'm Pat Coakley, and this is ArtoftheDiet131. So, I must say that even though I had done this regimen a couple of years ago of no grains and no sugar for actually many more weeks than 3, I had some real insights into my personal motivation for eating these sorts of foods in the past week. And that's why when I got the birthday card of, I'm eating my feelings and they taste delicious, I said, well, that is really an apt card at this particular moment, because I was very, very tuned in to how chronically I am looking for something to eat or prepare or whatever, even when I'm not hungry. And I don't often have that feeling of not being hungry when I do have a balanced diet, even that includes the sugar and the snacks and the grain products. For whatever reason, my chemistry, when those food groups are in my daily consumption, I don't have feelings of being satiated that are as long-lasting as eating a no sugar, no grain, high fiber, more protein diet. I just simply don't experience being full in the same way. It is a much more long-lasting way with this regime, and I can find myself doing my work for hours and being able to delay a snack or lunch or dinner. That just doesn't happen in the other regime. So I've been able to take a look at why and at what times I'm sort of looking for something to eat when it has nothing to do with the food. And it is startling how chronically embedded that psychological turn is. And I must say that I was able to manage it and fulfill that need with other types of food, but I can see where it doesn't do the job like those other snacks do and other foods do. It doesn't have the impact on my brain, I guess. It just doesn't trigger those pleasure synapses that the other foods do. It does calm you down. It doesn't hype you up. But the pleasure center of those go-to foods, the comfort foods, they're called comfort for a reason because they release things into your system that these other foods don't. And I think for many of us, that is the short-term gain of using them, because whatever we're looking for that we're not getting in real life, the food gives us immediate feedback of, yeah, that tastes good, yeah, that feels good. And you know what, when you have snacks like a roasted chickpeas with Italian seasoning, and even with a little Parmesan cheese, it's just not the same thing, people. So what I really realized was how many years this has been going on without me being aware of it. And I thought, wow, this must be why people talk about sort of being in mourning about their old self. Yes, they know they're healthier in the new slimmed down form, and they know their doctors are happier with them, and all their test results are better, and they can move better, and they look better, and their clothes are the size that they are happy to be in. But they can't do what they did before, and for some people, they experience that sadly and mournfully. And I thought, you know, I don't think it's the excess that they're mourning. It's the fact that a Band-Aid has been taken off, and you simply have to deal with the feelings that you've got that have nothing to do with food as a solution. You know, my little signature sentence is, if chocolate isn't the answer, could you repeat the question? It really is the essence of anybody struggling with weight issues over time, because though food has been used and abused and misused in so many different ways, that getting a clear picture on when you're hungry and when you're needing something else, but food is immediate, so I'm going with the immediate. That's the hinge of this weight management door. And I think it may be the downfall of almost any diet that works to help you reduce to where you want to be. But maintaining it means that those pleasure centers that you used to rely on, they are going to be looking for some other source of covering up the feelings. And if you know, how many times have you heard of someone who gave up booze, let's say, and then all of a sudden became a, sports fanatic and exercise freak. You sort of switch addictions. And granted, the exercise one may be a little healthier than the alcoholic one, but at the same time, you may be moving over. You take off one Band-Aid and you put on another, when the bottom line is there's something there that you're not experiencing as you're reinventing a new addiction. So it was really a week of going, wow, I'm sort of thinking this is what people who get sober must feel like. That, wow, their life is clearer, and that's the good news, and that's the bad news. That which they used to use to navigate through it and gave them some short-term answer is no longer available. And so they've got to figure it out in a sober state. And that's not easy. It's simply not easy. So I had a much greater appreciation for any of my friends or relatives that have, gone off booze and continued on with their life and became more fully human and more fully adult and responsive. And I thought, that's the case with a food addiction too, that biologically we may crave something and have a weakness toward it, and metabolically it may just seem to suit us very, very well until it really doesn't serve us well. And yet we've got to manage it. And in the case of food, you have to eat, unlike booze, where you can choose to just eliminate it from your existence. With food, we do have to eat it, and the balanced diet does include grains and does include sugar sometimes. And so for me, it's not really saying I have to do no sugars, no grains. But I do have to look at the fight to manage it is harder when these two food groups are included. And what saved me this week a few times when I was thinking, I just have to have something, I made pancakes out of chickpea flour. Now I know that sounds gross, but there's a recipe for it, and it tasted sort of like good. And I didn't put maple syrup on it, just berries and a little Greek yogurt. And I said, okay, that sort of visually looks good and it tastes good. Did it deliver that high that regular pancakes with maple syrup? No. But it was a feeling of, okay, this is sort of good, and it also filled you up. And then also, not having brown rice dishes I miss. And so I made like Chinese fried rice out of cauliflower rice. And it was really good. Now, did I eat too much of it? I probably did. But I didn't trigger in my system the whole metabolic response to the regular fried rice. So I'm just pointing out that this whole weight management issue is so complicated. And that is why so few people can do it. Honest to God. Let's just face facts. More people struggle with maintaining their weight than they do with losing their weight. And I'm in my 9th year now of managing this 60-pound weight loss. And you can tell I'm learning new things all the time. And why am I learning? Because I'm having to pay attention, which I never sustained true attention in the past years. But for 9 years, I've had to pay attention, or else the scale would go back up. So on this Valentine's Day, I'm going to eat my feelings with some leftover cauliflower rice, and I'm having chickpea or garbanzo bean floured pancakes for dinner with a blueberry topping. I make myself laugh. I hope I make you laugh too. Anyway, that's it for this week, and I hope you have a great day and a good week, and I'll see you next week.